What if I told you there's a specific mental frequency that Andrew Carnegie discovered in 1908, but only revealed to Napoleon Hill 20 years later, and it's directly connected to something you already know but have never truly applied? A frequency that, when activated, makes the universe conspire in your favor so powerfully that even the most resistant skeptics are left speechless. In the next 30 minutes, you'll discover the exact method Carnegie used to transform his life when he put God first, not as religion, but as mental technology, and generated an empire worth $480 million. The same principle that Ford applied and changed the global industry, that Rockefeller used to dominate oil, and that today billionaires like Oprah Winfrey apply silently. Napoleon Hill documented this in over 500 pages, but the most powerful chapter was censored for 40 years. He called it the sixth sense, the direct connection to infinite intelligence. It wasn't mysticism, it was pure science. Hill interviewed 500 millionaires and discovered that 98% of them had a specific morning ritual that connected them to something greater than themselves. And when they stopped doing it, their businesses crumbled. You'll discover why your life hasn't completely aligned yet and how to correct this today. Secret number 3 is what nobody talks about: the difference between praying, asking, and praying, programming your mind. And at the end, a 5-minute ritual that will reprogram your subconscious to operate on the frequency of divine abundance, even if you're not religious. It all started on a Sunday morning in 1908. Andrew Carnegie was in his library, looking out the window of his mansion in New York, when he had a revelation that would change not only his life, but the history of world capitalism. He was broke. Yes, you heard that right. The man who would become one of the richest in history had debts reaching $2 million of that era, equivalent to $80 million today. But what he did that morning defied everything we know about success and spirituality. Carnegie didn't pray asking for money. He didn't beg for a solution. He did something that modern neuroscience has proven to be the most powerful mental reprogramming technique ever discovered. Harvard University studies in 2019 showed that when a person aligns their mind with a greater purpose through specific visualization and gratitude techniques, their brain releases 300% more dopamine and 400% more serotonin. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, becomes hyperactive. It's like turning on a turbo in your ability to see opportunities. But there's more. The same study revealed that people who practice what researchers called directed prayer, not to be confused with desperate pleading, activate a brain region called the anterior cingulate cortex, which is directly linked to intuition and the ability to make right decisions at the right time. Marina Silva from Curitiba, Brazil, had 89,000 reais in debt when she discovered this principle. She worked 14 hours a day, but the more she struggled, the more problems appeared. Until one Wednesday, at 5 a.m., she decided to apply exactly what Carnegie did that Sunday morning. In 21 days, she received a partnership proposal that changed her life forever. But wait, I'll tell you exactly what she did, but first I need to reveal what Carnegie discovered when he stopped fighting against life and started flowing with it. Carnegie understood something that 99% of people can't comprehend. There's an abysmal difference between having faith and programming your mind for abundance. Faith without direction is just hope, but faith with specific mental technique is a force that literally moves mountains. That morning, instead of despairing about the debts, Carnegie took a paper and wrote something that Napoleon Hill would later call definitive divine purpose declaration. It wasn't a common prayer. It was a direct command to his subconscious, using the figure of God as a bridge to access his infinite inner wisdom. He wrote, "Infinite intelligence, I place myself as a channel of your will. Show me through my intuition the path to serve in the highest possible way. I commit to use all wealth that comes through me to elevate humanity. My mind is open and receptive to your signs. 20 minutes after writing this, Carnegie had an idea that seemed to come from nowhere. And it was this idea that transformed him into America's richest man. But the most impressive thing is that he repeated this ritual every morning for the rest of his life. And every time he stopped, business started having problems. Ford met Carnegie in 1909 and learned an adapted version of this technique. He called it tuning with the universal mind. Every morning before making any important decision, Ford connected with what he called the silent inner counselor. That's how he had the intuition to create the assembly line that revolutionized world industry. Rockefeller went further. He believed there was a universal economic intelligence that governed all financial transactions in the world. His investment decisions were based not only on analysis, but on a deep connection with this intelligence. And it worked. He never lost money on a single investment. But here's the secret Hill discovered after 20 years studying these men. They weren't special. They just knew how to operate a universal law that anyone can access. Hill called this the law of attraction directed by faith. The difference between common law of attraction and law of attraction directed by faith is simple. One you ask, the other you program. One you wait, the other you act in tune. One you want, the other you become. Roberto Marinho from Globo Network applied this principle when he was starting the broadcaster. He didn't just pray for television to work out. He connected every morning with what he called divine vision for his company. He visualized millions of people being informed, educated and entertained through his programming. He saw himself as a channel of divine entertainment. And look what happened. The second principle these men discovered is even more powerful, the principle of magnetic gratitude. It's not about thanking for what you have, it's about thanking for what's already on its way, as if you knew God is already working behind the scenes of your life. Back to Marina from Curitiba. When she applied the first principle, she started having powerful insights. But it was when she mastered the second principle that everything truly changed. Every night, before sleeping, she thanked for 3 specific things that hadn't happened yet, but that she was absolutely certain were coming. Thank you for the perfect partnership that's manifesting in my life. Thank you for the financial abundance that's flowing in my direction. Thank you for the opportunities that are aligning perfectly for me. And you know what happened? In 2 weeks, an acquaintance she hadn't seen in years called with a partnership proposal in a business she didn't even know existed. Coincidence? Neuroscience has an explanation. When you program your mind for anticipated gratitude, you activate what neuroscientists call the reticular activating system. It's like tuning your mind to perceive opportunities that were always there, but you couldn't see because you were focused on the problem, not the solution. Dr. Joe Dispenza from Stanford University discovered that people who practice anticipated gratitude produce 23% more DHEA, the youth hormone, and 50% less cortisol, the stress hormone. But the most impressive thing is that these people report an average of 340% more positive synchronicities in their lives. Synchronicities are those moments when you think of someone and the person calls, when you need something and it appears in front of you, when you have a doubt and find the answer casually. Hill discovered that when you align your mind with God, synchronicities become so frequent they stop being coincidence to become your way of life. But there's a third principle that few know, and that's the multiplier of all others, the principle of silent service. Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, they all understood that the more you put yourself at service of something greater than yourself, the more the universe conspires to give you resources to serve better. It's not about giving money. It's about aligning your life with a purpose that transcends your personal benefit. It's about waking up every morning asking, how can I serve today? Instead of, what can I get today? When you make this focus shift, something magical happens. Your mind stops operating on scarcity frequency and starts operating on abundance frequency, because someone who's genuinely concerned with serving cannot be poor. The universe doesn't allow it. Luiz Serafim from Belo Horizonte, Brazil, had a consulting company that was going bankrupt, revenue of 8,000 reais per month, paying 12,000 in expenses. He was considering closing everything when he discovered these principles, but instead of focusing on saving his company, he applied focusing on how he could better serve his clients. Every morning, he connected with what he called divine wisdom and asked, "How can I add more value to people's lives today?" And every night, he thanked for the clients who were coming and for the problems he was being empowered to solve. In 3 months, his company was billing 45,000 per month. In 6 months, 78,000. And today, 2 years later, he bills over 200,000 monthly. But what he highlights most isn't the money. It's the feeling that he's doing exactly what he came to do in this life. He says he now works in a state of permanent prayer. Now, how do these 3 principles combine to create what Hill called the divine prosperity formula? It's simple, but it's not easy. Most people will understand the theory, but few will apply consistently, and that's exactly where the secret lies. First principle, morning connection with infinite intelligence. Every day, without exception, you need 10 minutes to align your mind with a greater purpose. It's not meditation. It's not prayer asking. It's conscious mental programming. Second principle, magnetic nocturnal gratitude. Every night, before sleeping, you program your subconscious to attract what you want through anticipated gratitude. You thank as if you had already received. Third principle, constant silent service. During the day, in all your actions, you ask yourself, how can this serve something greater than myself? This question reprograms your mind to operate on abundance frequency. But there's a specific protocol that Hill discovered analyzing the 500 millionaires. He called it 21-day divine alignment ritual. And that's exactly what you'll do for the next 21 days if you want to see your life align supernaturally. Day 1 to 7, establish your connection. Every morning at 6 a.m., you'll write your definitive divine purpose declaration, a full page describing how you'll use your abilities to serve humanity in an elevated way. Always end with infinite intelligence. Show me today how I can serve in the highest possible way. Day 8 to 14, activate magnetic gratitude. In addition to morning, every night you'll thank for 3 specific things that haven't happened yet, but that you're absolutely certain are coming. Write in detail, as if it had already happened. Day 15 to 21, integrate silent service. During the day, before each important decision, you'll stop for 30 seconds and ask, how can I transform this situation into an opportunity to serve? It may seem simple, but this question will completely reprogram your way of seeing the world. In the first 7 days, you'll notice more mental clarity. In the next 7, synchronicities start appearing. And in the last 7 days, your life will start aligning in ways you can't imagine possible. But there are some traps you need to avoid. The first, impatience. You're not doing this to have results in 24 hours. You're reprogramming years of mental conditioning. The second, inconsistency. If you skip a day, don't give up, but know that each lost day delays the process. The third, focus on result instead of process. The result is natural consequence of alignment. Focus on alignment, not result. Now, there's an exercise that Hill learned directly from Carnegie that you can do now while watching this video. It's a 5-minute exercise that will connect your conscious mind with your infinite inner wisdom. Close your eyes and breathe deeply 3 times. Visualize a golden light entering through your head and filling your entire body. This light represents infinite intelligence flowing through you. Feel this energy of abundance and wisdom spreading through every cell of your body. Now, visualize your life exactly as you want it to be, but with a difference. Visualize yourself using this abundance to serve other people, See yourself helping, guiding, inspiring. Feel the gratitude of people you're positively impacting. Repeat mentally, I am a channel of infinite intelligence. Everything I need to know at the right moment will be revealed to me. I trust the divine process of my life. I serve with love and receive abundance as natural consequence. Breathe deeply and open your eyes. You just programmed your mind to operate on divine abundance frequency. Do this every morning for the next 21 days and watch your life transform. Elon Musk, though he doesn't speak openly about it, applies these principles intuitively. He's not just creating companies, he genuinely believes he's serving humanity through technology. And look at the results. Oprah Winfrey is even more explicit. She openly says that every morning she connects with what she calls divine inner voice to know how she can better serve through her platform. Warren Buffett, the greatest investor in history, has a phrase that sums it all up. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. He understands that true wealth comes when you plant trees for other people to benefit. But there's final proof that will leave you speechless about the power of these principles. In 2018, Forbes magazine did a study with 500 billionaires worldwide. They discovered that 87% of them had some kind of morning spiritual practice. Not necessarily religious, but spiritual. They connected with something greater than themselves before starting the day. And 93% of them reported that their biggest business opportunities came through insights that seemed to come from nowhere during these practices. Coincidence? There's no coincidence when you understand how the human mind connected to infinite intelligence works. So, recapping what you discovered today, there's a specific mental frequency that, when activated, makes your life align supernaturally. This frequency is accessed through three principles: morning connection with infinite intelligence, magnetic nocturnal gratitude, and constant silent service. Hundreds of millionaires and billionaires have applied these principles throughout history. Napoleon Hill documented all this after 20 years of research. And now you have access to this wisdom that can completely transform your life. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. If you really want to see your life align, you need to apply what you learned today. Start right now. Take a paper and write your definitive divine purpose declaration. A full page about how you'll use your abilities to serve humanity in an elevated way. If you felt touched by this message, if something inside you awakened, leave a comment writing, "I trust the divine process." So I know you're ready for this transformation. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes we are God's instruments to bring wisdom to those who need it at the right moment. And if you want to continue deepening this knowledge, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, I bring new Napoleon Hill secrets that can further accelerate your journey of abundance and purpose. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. There's an infinite intelligence that's always conspiring in your favor. You just need to align with it, and now you know exactly how to do it. May God bless you.